Mhm. Hello everyone. This is the third unit of R&AC. That is components of refrigeration system. The basic components of a simple conventional refrigeration system are compressor, condenser, expansion devices and evaporator. Compressor function is to compress the vapor which is coming out from an evaporator, and the condense and that compressed vapor is passed to the condenser for heat rejection from to the coolant, in condenser to the coolant. Next, and from there it enters into the liquefied refrigerant, or the condenser outlet will be at high pressure, will be passed through an expansion device to low temperature ice enthalpically at constant enthalpy process, and then it reaches to an expansion device inlet, and after expansion device it reaches to the evaporator inlet, and in evaporator the liquid refrigerant will be at very low temperature and pressure, and that will enter through the evaporator, where it absorbs the heat from the food items, and again the cycle goes on. Now coming to the compressor. A compressor is the most important and often the costliest component, typically 30 to 40% of total cost of any vapor compression refrigeration system. The function of a compressor in a VCR is to continuously draw the refrigerant vapor from the evaporator so that a low pressure and low temperature can be maintained in the evaporator, at which the refrigerant can boil, extracting heat from the refrigerator space. The compressor then has to raise the pressure of refrigerant to a level at which it can condense by rejecting heat to the cooling medium in the condenser. Now, classification of compressors. A compressor is the most important and often the costliest component, typically 30 to 40% of the total cost of any vapor compression refrigeration system. The function of compressor in a VCRs is to continuously draw the refrigerant vapor from the evaporator so that a low pressure and low temperature can be maintained in the evaporator, at which the refrigerant can boil, extracting heat from the refrigerated space. The compressor then has to raise the pressure of the refrigerant to a level at which it can condense by rejecting heat to the cooling medium in the condenser. The types of compressors: reciprocating compressor, and you have other types also. In reciprocating compressor, a simple reciprocating compressor consists of a cylinder, piston and a connecting rod, crank pin, crankshaft and a balancing weight. These are the simple components of a reciprocating compressor. You have inlet valve, supply valve or discharge valve or outlet valve, through which the gas or the vapor enters into an inlet through inlet valve, and then uh, piston moves up. After compression, it moves through the discharge valve or the outlet valve. Reciprocating compressor is the work horse of the refrigeration and air conditioning industry. It is the most widely used compressor with cooling capacities ranging from a few watts to hundreds of kilowatts. Modern day reciprocating compressors are high speed 3000 to 3600 rpm, single acting, single or multi cylinder, up to 16 cylinders type. Now, that is a reciprocating compressor, and it consists of a piston moving back with force and the cylinder with suction and discharge valves to achieve suction and compression of the refrigerant vapor. Its construction and working are somewhat similar to a two-stroke engine, as suction and compression of the refrigerant vapor are completed in one revolution of the crank. The suction side of the compressor is connected to the exit of the evaporator, while the discharge side of the compressor is connected to the condenser. The suction inlet and the discharge outlet valves open and close due to pressure differences between the cylinder inlet and or outlet manifolds respectively. The pressure in the inlet manifold is equal to or slightly less than the evaporator pressure. Similarly, the pressure in the outlet manifold is equal to or slightly greater than the condenser pressure. The pressure in the outlet manifold is equal to or slightly greater than the condenser pressure. Now, ideal reciprocating compressor on PV and P theta diagram. PV, an ideal reciprocating compressor on PV and P theta diagram is A to B compressor. B to C is an ideal gas outlet. C to D pressure decrease, pressure drop, and D to A again it is inlet suction. Mm, Here A to B, at the point B, after compression the pressure will rise up. It's a compressor pressure PC, and B to C is a constant pressure discharge takes place. So this is a reciprocating compressor functions with a piston cylinder movement. It is reciprocating. Here the rotary motion of the shaft, crankshaft, is getting converted to the reciprocatory motion with the help of this connecting rod. As a result, the due to the continuous reciprocatory movement, the vapor inside the cylinder will get compressed, and that compression leads to increase in pressure and temperature of the refrigerant which is entering into it, and it will be discharged with high pressure, and we call it as with high properties. to the condenser, discharge outlet to the condenser, and the power given to the rotary motion, it can be with the help of a motor, an electrical device, generator type thing, or it can be uh, an engine which is used to run the shaft to produce that rotary motion. After that, that rotary motion can be converted to the reciprocatory with the help of this connecting rod. And the properties of the vapor entering into the properties of the vapor entering into the compressor are low properties, like pressure, low pressure, low temperature, and it is a vapor which is coming out from the evaporator. And this refrigerant gas will be compressed. This refrigerant gas will be compressed due to the reciprocatory motion, and leads to increase in the pressure, temperature of the gas, and after achieving very high pressure, the desired pressure and temperature, the discharge valve will open, and it keeps the system alive. It functions as the heart of a human being. Because of the compressor, pressure difference is created. Because of this and temperature difference is created. Because of this pressure difference, fluid will flow. Because of temperature difference, heat will flow. Fluid keeps on moving from compressor one outlet to compressor inlet. And because of the high temperature, as soon as the fluid enters into the condenser, the high temperature fluid rejects or ejects heat from it to the surroundings, that is condensing cooling medium. Generally it will be air, or it will be an atmosphere, which is the cooling medium. So it leads to the rejection of heat, and thereby in compression we have two types: wet compression, dry compression. Wet compression is not suggestible because of the vapors. If you have the dryness fraction or the wetness fraction of the vapors, that leads to the damage to the compression units, like cylinder walls may get damaged. That's why it is not preferable. Whereas dry compression, so the vapors which are coming out from the evaporator are suggestible to be dry in state. So these dry vapors are suggestible to enter into the compressor, and the type of compression is called as dry compression, which leads to further increase in the properties of the fluid, and the same procedure continues. Again from there it enters into the condenser to the expansion device to evaporator. Then we have condenser and its types. Different types are there for condenser. We need to discuss about this TS graph. Classification of condensers: we have air cooled, water cooled, evaporative condensers, and condensation process. And the process that takes place in compression is preferably an adiabatic compression. isentropic reversible adiabatic compression. And we will continue our session in the next video.